Hello, viewers. Today is July 12th, 2024. I'm here to continue my discussions and sharing my thoughts with you guys on the US presidential election. More specifically, why US President Biden should withdraw from the race and the potential option that he has if he decides to withdraw from the race. And to recap, yesterday we discussed about those two potential options. The first option being that US President Biden can withdraw from the race, but then can throw his full support to Vice President Kamala Harris, and also can encourage all his pledged delegates to support Kamala Harris. That way, Vice President Kamala Harris can become the nominee instantly, and she can use the campaign war chest of President Biden and start campaigning from day one. That's option one. And the option two that I discussed yesterday was President Biden can withdraw from the race, but he can stay non-committal, and he can then ask the DNC to do what I call as a debate primary, in that the party elders can choose 4 to 6 nominees among the viable candidates who are interested to run, and then they can run 4 to 5 debates, either every day or on an alternate day basis. And at the end of the debate, the pledged delegates can go ahead and choose their nominee, and all this process can be controlled by the DNC. Those are the two options that I discussed yesterday. But today I would like to share my thoughts on what if President Biden chooses the first option, which is to throw his support and his weight behind Vice President Kamala Harris. So in that scenario, Kamala Harris becomes the nominee. And then one of the main things that she has to decide then is who should be the vice presidential candidate under her ticket. So here, my thoughts are that she should look at governors from the Midwest to begin with, so, because that is where the Democrats need to win to really have a good shot at winning the presidency. So the Midwestern states are Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin. So if you look at the governor of Minnesota, say, Tim Walz, he's 60 years old. He's a decent choice, but I don't think he has the kind of national profile and that would help Kamala Harris on her presidency. So I would discount the governor of Minnesota. Then you can look at the governor of Wisconsin, which is Tony Evers. He is 72 years old. Just because of the age, I would not really consider him as the vice president on the vice presidential ticket. The reason being that the very fact that Mr. Biden is withdrawing from the race is to pass the baton to the younger generation, and choosing Tony Evers, who is 72 years old, is not going to really help that cause. So I would not select Tony Evers as a vice presidential candidate because of this reason. Then you can look at the governor of Michigan, which is Gretchen Whitmer. She has been a very successful governor in Michigan. She's only 52 years old, and I think that'll be a very good ticket. But the only downside to that is some people might say that you have a woman at the top of the ticket, and then now you have got a vice presidential nominee who is also a woman. But I don't think that it will be a big negative. Yes, you might lose some votes in Alabama, Mississippi, and some rural parts of Pennsylvania, but having two women on the ticket might help in other areas. Like, for instance, that reproductive issue is going to be a big issue in the campaign in the 2024 election. So the reproductive rights issue might overcome some of these other disadvantages. So what you would potentially lose in rural Pennsylvania or rural Minnesota, you might gain in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, suburbs of Philadelphia, suburbs of the big cities. So I don't think it will be a big negative. I really like that ticket. but I do not know whether Vice President Kamala Harris in such a scenario will take that risk, but I think it is worth taking the risk. Then if she doesn't pick the governor of Michigan, then we can go to governor of Pennsylvania. Joshua Shapiro is 51 years old. He's a very popular governor of Pennsylvania. And I think by picking him on the ticket, you can be assured that Pennsylvania is going to be on the Democrats' column because he's very popular, and he can definitely bring Pennsylvania to the Democrats. And also, he can potentially talk to the blue-collar workers. He can also go to the rural parts of some of the other states and talk to those people who are affected by this economy, and he can really make a mark. In other words, he's like Joe Biden, but he's only 51 years old. So I think you get the idea, right? So I think I like the ticket as well. So that's also one potential opportunity for Vice President Kamala Harris. Then the other option that I see is a very good option is the governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear. He is only 46 years old. He is a governor from a red state, and I believe that he can bring a lot to the table in terms of talking to the moderate voters. And since Vice President Kamala Harris is considered as being too liberal by some people, I think he can complement the ticket very well, as he is a governor from a red state, as I mentioned to you before. So I think he's also a very attractive candidate for being a vice president under Kamala Harris. Finally, people might ask why I have not discussed about the governor of California, Gavin Newsom. The only reason I didn't discuss about him is because he's also from California, and Vice President Kamala Harris is also from California, and this will become difficult in the sense that you cannot have the president and the vice president nominee from the same state. So I think for that reason, Governor Newsom will not be considered by Kamala Harris, according to me. So based on this, I think Vice President Kamala Harris has got three attractive choices: Governor of Michigan, Governor of Pennsylvania, and Governor of Kentucky as possible VP candidates under her ticket. But there is also one more person that I want to discuss, even though he's old, is the senator from Ohio, Sherrod Brown. He's 17 years old, but he's another person that she can consider if she wants to make a play in all the Midwestern states and also Ohio. Ohio, from my perspective, is very difficult for Democrats to win, even if Sherrod Brown is on the ticket. That's why I said it's an outside chance that she will pick Sherrod Brown, but there is a possibility. But overall, I do believe that the three governors that I discussed before will be an excellent choice. And Democrats need to win the states in Midwest, namely Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, and then hold on to New Jersey, Maine, New Hampshire, and Nevada. Then they will be able to win the presidency. So I think that's the route. That's the easy path to Electoral College to get to 270 from my perspective. Let's see what happens. But on a different note, we just heard that former President Obama and former Speaker Nancy Pelosi are working behind the scenes to make sure that they can nudge President Biden to withdraw from the race. This is what I thought will happen, and I hear that it is happening behind the scenes, and I'm very happy to report that as well. And then the second point is a lot of people suggested that the press conference that President Biden had yesterday will silence some of the critics, and he will just move on and go on to stay in the race and not withdraw. But from my perspective, after watching that particular press conference, I can tell you and I can assure you that that he needs to withdraw, because what I saw was a person who's a very nice man, but a very nice old man, and I don't think he can sustain the rigor of a presidency for 4 more years. And I hope his advisors and his family will convince him to withdraw gracefully, so that his legacy will be maintained. And so that's what I hope. And let's all hope that he takes the right decision. And I will come back to you guys tomorrow with details on how this option 2 would work, which is the debate primary. Thank you for watching. Take care.